use a fabric called modal. It was the fabric that I was speaking about earlier that we touched. It's super, super soft and really buttery is like the best word that we can use to describe it. It is made from beech tree pulp. So the reason that it's more sustainable is because obviously it's a natural fiber, but it uses less water to grow this plant and also in order to transform it into a fabric. I believe, don't quote me on this, but it's about 80% less water than like its cotton alternative. So it's a lot more environmentally friendly.
Melting Pot, a global podcast series hosted by Payal, connects guests who have inspiring stories and reaches out to a multicultural audience over 52 countries. Guests are diverse, such as celebrities, entrepreneurs, travelers, and many more who've had a turning point in their lives and moved over to a holistic lifestyle. Follow us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, social media.
Hi, everyone. Today I'm in conversation, as you can see, these three gorgeous sisters. And I am really excited to hear about their venture. So let's just get straight into it. I'd like to introduce to you Amira, Soukaina, and Boutaina. Yes, I got it.
For having us.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. And I'm really, as I said, looking forward to getting familiar with your journey and your story. So just a little background to the three of you would be an interesting way to start.
I'll go. So I'm the eldest, and Soukaina is the middle sister. Amira is the youngest. We are three sisters. We are half Bangladeshi and half Moroccan. Our father is from Bangladesh and our mom is from Morocco. We are born and brought up in Bangladesh. Into 2010, we have moved here to Singapore, and we have gone for our higher studies in the UK, and then we came back again here to Singapore. Our father has started the manufacturing business back in 1993, and he started doing in Bangladesh, and he started with making sweaters, and then he added on lingerie, and now we do activewear also. So when we moved here, actually it was during the pandemic time that we decided to start this project of ours. I am a mom of three. I have three kids.
Oh, wow. That would be very hard to believe. Yeah.
So my days are busy with trying to, juggle their lives and my own. And so, yeah, they keep me on my toes the whole day. So I think that's just a background of the three of us.
Okay. So have all three of you studied fashion, or did you go for business studies to the UK, or neither?
So none of us have done any sort of fashion undergrad work at all. We all have done different. Boutaina, you did
accounting and
finance.
Okay.
My major was in social policy, and Amira's was in
business management.
So nothing really to do with fashion, but because we were brought up in a manufacturing family business in Bangladesh when we were growing up over there, we were kind of familiar with, say, more in terms of fabrics, quality of fabrics, how clothing is made. All of that was kind of very familiar to us and very openly discussed, and we were very comfortable with the idea. But coming into the retail side of things was more born out of it was, again, during the pandemic time. So we thought that we wanted to do something on our own, branch out on our own, and that's where we came into the retail space and coming up with PJs and sleepwear and now loungewear.
Okay, so why specifically PJ and sleepwear? Okay, and firstly, before we get into that, I don't think I mentioned the name of your brand. It's called Rawbought?
So again, we mentioned we come from a manufacturing base, and the name we kind of had in our minds for the last, I mean, way before we thought of PJs. And the idea behind it really is that we wanted to talk about how we are manufacturers, garments manufacturers. So we have complete control over the process from the very beginning, the raw material. And that's really where raw came from. And then bought again is more that we want to be able to sell it, and it's something for everyone to buy, and we want to have everyone to have access to it, basically. So that was the name that we had come up with as a fun play of our manufacturing base, and having that.
Okay, that's interesting.
So for us, we knew that we wanted to enter the retail sphere in some way. Our main key thing was it has to be manufactured in our own factories within our supply chain. We want to control that. So we had to kind of look back on what is it that our factories can produce? What do we have the capabilities for? The three of us don't come from a high fashion background. We're not good with, very high, designs, what's happening in Paris, Milan. We know garments, the constructions, the fabrics, what makes clothing look great and feel great. And actually it came about because we touched this fabric. We were just, we were working for our parents' business, and we were sent over some samples, and we touched this fabric, and we were like, wow, this would make amazing sleepwear. As soon as we felt it, we just got we knew. So that's kind of where it started. It was something where, comfort is at the key of sleepwear. And that for us really, really resonated. With COVID and the lockdown, it just all kind of blended in seamlessly, where we wanted to find a hybrid between comfort and style. So you can still look good, but you don't have to compromise being comfortable, because I think that was a priority for most people during the lockdown period.
I mean, how much importance is given to sustainability? How much importance is given to good practices within the manufacturing unit? Because we are all aware of, I mean, it's not a hidden secret that there are some countries where, there is child labor involved, there are some malpractices within manufacturing units, which have been highlighted over the years. So for your specific unit, what is it that you do differently?
I think you're correct. Especially Bangladesh has had over the years a lot of I wouldn't call it bad press. It's like it's correct, depiction of the situation that was in Bangladesh. But ever since all those unfortunate incidents have happened, the industry itself has woken up a lot, has been shaken up a lot, has become more aware. The brands have been held accountable now much more, and so the brands are also putting pressures on the manufacturing units, the factories. So the country as a whole or the industry, the ready-made garment industry in Bangladesh has changed a lot over the last few years, and for the better. The change has been drastic, actually, to be honest. Us as our own company, more than the company, I want to say our father, his thought process has always been very different. The word sustainability and environmentally friendly, these are current trendy words now. But it was something that my father was doing when he years ago, when he started before, and it wasn't things that he had the proper knowledge of, but he was doing it more out of common sense and out of what came naturally to him. For him, it was always important to spend that extra amount of money to make sure that our factories are fire compliant, or foundations are done right, and not because he's scared that the brand is going to come after him, but he's actually scared that, if the building collapses, then people are going to die, and that's him, right? So out of like his own conscience, he was always aware. For us, all the changes that have been happening in the country did not affect us at all, because we were always there. So for us, like, we were always welcome to brands coming and auditing us, our factories, and the brands now they're auditing so much more regularly than they used to do before. So for us, it was never like, okay, today a brand is going to come and audit, and then, we need to change things up or fix things up. No, it was a normal part of our day-to-day, operations. So in the country wise, yes, things have improved a lot for us. It was always the norm for us. I think because our father has been so conscious about being sustainable and all of this, like our factories still are gold and platinum rated in the LEED certification. Our main office also, usually offices are not certified, but our offices are also certified. So these are things that he's been doing over the years, from the very beginning, as much as he can from the very beginning he's been doing. So it was something that we have seen growing up always. So it was kind of always inside us. He's not just environmentally conscious, he's also very conscious about our workforce, their well-being. So their financial well-being, their social well-being has always been at the core of his mind. So he's always told us that we are because they are. So it is important. We are nothing without them. So it's really, really important to take care of them first and then us. So when we went into Rawbought and when we went to the retail, it kind of came naturally to us that we will be working with sustainable fabrics, or we got lucky because we didn't have to look for a factory that has ethical production. It kind of like, it was always there for us. It's a given that, we source ethically, we produce ethically. So it kind of came naturally for us, and we got lucky in that way, just because of how our parents think, or how we have been brought up to think all our lives.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. So in terms of the fabric for your sleepwear and loungewear, just a little more, information about the kind of fabric that you use.
Yeah, sure. So we use a fabric called modal. It was the fabric that I was speaking about earlier that we touched. It's super, super soft and really buttery is like the best word that we can use to describe it. It is made from beech tree pulp. So the reason that it's more sustainable is because obviously it's a natural fiber, but it uses less water to grow this plant, and also in order to transform it into a fabric. I believe, don't quote me on this, but it's about 80% less water than like its cotton alternative. So it's a lot more environmentally friendly. So we use this modal fabric to launch our initial collection. Ever since we were getting feedback from our customers, and they obviously love the feel, but a lot of feedback that we heard was they wanted it even lighter, even softer, reduce the pilling. So we went back and we reformulated the fabric with our team. We're very big on listening to what our customers are saying and taking on that feedback. And, it's not overnight all the time. To develop a new fabric, you have to test it. You have to make sure that it's as good, if not better, than the previous one. So in the last few months, we have now shifted to a micromodal fabric. So it's even lighter, more machine washable, and just really, really soft, and it retains its softness for loads of uses and washes to come.
So which part of Bangladesh do you have your manufacturing units in?
It's slightly out of Dhaka city. It's just in the outskirts of the capital city.
Okay, and what about the plants that the material that is used for your fabric, which part of Dhaka Bangladesh is that from?
Those are not from Bangladesh.
Okay.
We source them from China, if I'm not wrong. So yeah, we get them from China.
I guess there must be some kind of division of responsibilities. Each one of you probably has a different strength that you can kind of play on and take advantage of. So,
So initially we went in with the mindset thinking we will all do everything. We're very optimistic that this would work out. It did not. But we've kind of found what our strengths are within Rawbought and what suits our strengths, what suits our personalities the best. The way it manages itself now is Amira. She does most of the operation side of everything. She takes care of like the day-to-day runnings of Rawbought. Boutaina, she works on the more financial side of the business. Yeah, she's good with numbers. That's what she studied in her life. And she loves doing it. So lucky for us, that's the side that she has taken on herself. And for myself, I focus on more of the fashion side of Rawbought, as well as the brand positioning and keeping the brand in line with what we want it to be, basically.
Are you an e-commerce platform, or are you also retailing through stores, or what is your model of, what's the business model really?
So we started off purely e-commerce. So we sell on our own website, rawbought.com. And I think within the first 6 months, we started stocking at Society A, which is in Neon City. So we still work with them today, and they will stock a few pieces from the collection. Since then, we are also at Siri House in Dempsey Hill. They have also pieces from the collection, not the entire collection. And more recently, we started selling on Zalora, the marketplace online.
Okay. What are next steps in terms of extending your range, two, in terms of outside of it being in Singapore and outside of it being an e-commerce brand, or that as a platform, getting into other markets as well?
In terms of Rawbought, the line, what's upcoming, things that we see for the future for our collection, we are planning to launch our basics collection, which is a bit more of a shift towards the loungewear side of things. We're planning to launch it at the end of June, July, if everything goes okay. What we're aiming to do is launch more pieces that you can wear at home, same modal fabric, with the same amount of comfort, something you can get away with being at home, but also at the same time be able to wear outside. So we're going to be launching this dress that my sister's wearing actually now. A few joggers, some tank tops, V-neck t-shirts, like the basics that you would have in your wardrobe, but like what we think are classic pieces or fashionable pieces that you can be wearing outside. So looking at the future of Rawbought, we want to come out of the pandemic style, less, not necessarily forget about sleepwear. We definitely want to focus on sleepwear, but at the same time also look at more outdoor options, things that you can wear outdoors, but not compromise on comfort, which is very key to us. But we do want to expand outside of Singapore. That's 100% on the cards for us. We want to, within Singapore, we want to set up our own retail space at some point, where our customers are interacting directly with the brand, not through one of our partners.
Thank you so much. You're really enterprising young women, and wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for having us.
We really appreciate it. Great talking.
Likewise, my pleasure.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
For more weekly conversations, do listen to Melting Pot on Spotify, Apple and Google Podcasts. Follow us on YouTube and on Instagram at Podcast Melting Pot. So until the next episode, this is Payal signing off.